We get a 1, personal space, 2, personal space, 3.
Hey, hello listeners. This is just a quick disclaimer for this week's episode. As anyone that's listened to the show before knows, there can be some adult language, and anyone that's listening for the first time, please keep that in mind. We tend to be ourselves and not filter, so occasionally a bad word might come out. If you have any children in the room, please put on some headphones or have them put on some headphones. Thank you.
That I don't even care about this. I'm not even interested in having this skin on my personal space.
You're listening to the IDP Guys with Sean, John, and Nathan, the Wizards of Fantasy Football. Your go-to source for the individual defensive player strategy. And now, 3 guys who could only make an NFL team on Madden.
Alrighty, welcome back to the IDP Guys. My name is Nathan. We're on episode 124 and joined with Johnny.
Hello, greetings.
Sean.
Greetings.
What's going on, guys? What a crap show it's been this past week. But
yeah,
with that, we're going to talk more later on. But I guess we're going to talk about it right now.
It's a relevant question.
Yeah, the question of the day. How's your fantasy-related anxiety doing this year with all the shenanigans?
There's no anxiety. It's just like, this was going to be a shit show. And now I'm just kind of looking at it. I'm like, yeah, as it turns out, it was a shit show. And so, like, all the leagues I'm commissioning, I feel really good about because I prepared for this and I set up a bunch of extra roster spots, set up max IRs, all that stuff. And then there's the couple of leagues where the commissioners let people vote. And these people are idiots and they didn't think it was going to be that bad. And so I got like a 25-man dynasty or 25-player dynasty. So like 16 teams, 25 players, and 16 on the bench. And it's like, dude, I got 12 of them that are out this week and 3 of them that are on bye week. It's like, they put this up for vote and everyone's like, it is what it is. Like, we'll see what happens. It's like, you guys are morons. Like, and the commissioners should not have allowed this to go to a vote. It's the commissioner's job to make sure that this doesn't happen. And a lot of commissioners did a really poor job of it.
Yeah, I just make a call. You just do it.
Yeah.
You know, trades too.
Yeah.
Because people, the whole veto thing, if people are allowed to deny 2 teams from getting better,
I
they
veto
will.
every trade.
They will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Nate will veto every trade.
Right.
So how many Nates are there in your league? Like 7? That's all it takes.
Exactly.
All it takes.
Right. So I just do commissioner approval for all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. I think most of us knew this was coming and planned for it and drafted accordingly and are in mostly leagues that are set up for this. So the ones that aren't, it's not great, but whatever.
I think the only league that I'm really screwed in this week is I have a league where I lost Barkley, Chubb, Eckler, Mostert, and one other person. I don't remember who it was, but I lost all those running backs and I still have Myles Gaskin, but like I think I'm starting Lynn Bowden at running back this week. That's all I got. And it's like, yeah, okay. So like there's like one, like the fill in for Nick Chubb on waivers. I'm dropping $66 to just like have somebody to play this week.
Wow.
Yeah, it's stupid, man.
He's probably not even going to do that well. They got Indy.
No, he probably isn't. He probably isn't. But,
But you
like,
don't have a choice. I hear you.
and right, because like if you end up losing that week by 3 points, you're gonna be pissed that you didn't drop your waiver wire budget on that.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a crappy year. If everybody planned accordingly in most spots, you're okay. And it really should have been something where you're planning accordingly for both COVID and lack of preseason and more injuries and stuff like that, where like you're gonna see that a lot more running back. All the leagues I drafted this year, I went way heavier on running back. And everywhere that we got expanded rosters, I picked up as many running backs as I could, even if it was something that people call a crapshoot, where it's like even Myles Gaskin's like, that dude's not seeing the field. Like, there's no way he's seeing the field. It's like, yeah, okay, maybe not, but like, you don't know. And we have no idea what's going to happen. Just pick up as many guys as you can and just hope you get lucky, because that's what this year is going to be.
Go ahead.
So my question here is, with all of the shenanigans, with all this stuff, if you have a bad beginning
Oh, you're
of
fine.
of the season, well, I'm saying, like, at what point do you say, like, you're looking at your team, you're looking and saying, like, I've lost all of these guys and it just doesn't look good. Like, are you not throwing in the towel, but like playing
Planning
for
for
next
next year.
year
Yeah.
earlier?
Sure.
Not this early though, but yeah.
So honestly, in a normal year, this early is fine. This is about the time that I'm looking at it, because like if I'm 1-3 in a 14-team league, the odds of me making the playoffs are not that great, even if I have a good team. The thing this year is that you're dealing with a lot of luck, and you're dealing with a lot of injuries, and you're dealing with a lot of just randomness. So what I'm looking at this year is, if I look at my team, if this team stays healthy and everybody else's team stays healthy for the rest of the year, is this a championship quality team? Because like I have a couple of teams where it's like, yeah, I'm 1-3, and this is a championship quality team that just had some bad beats. Those teams, I'm not selling out yet, because anything can happen for the rest of the year. The teams where I look at my team and it's like, okay, these guys are just not playing well this year. Or I had Barkley and he was my dude that was going to carry me to this championship and he's gone. Or Chubb's going to be gone for 6 weeks and I don't have anybody reasonable to replace him. Or, I was a Nick Bosa guy, or I had a lot of D Ford, whatever. If you look at your team in its current state, can you make a championship if nothing else bad happens to any of the teams in your league? If the answer is yes, then you keep going with it. If the answer is no, then you don't, because it's unpredictable and you can't predict where these injuries are going to fall or where COVID's going to fall. You can't predict any of that. So look at your team in its current state and decide, if nothing bad happens, is this a championship quality team? And if it is, you go for it. If it isn't, then you stop.
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier, but I ended up making a trade with CMC in my Fantasy Football World War League because I started out. Now there's double headers in this league, so I'm 0-6. I have a terrible roster construction, and I have 12 guys on IR, with a lot of those not coming back. So I just decided I needed to make a move. Now you're probably gonna rip me for this, so I'm not gonna ask for your analysis, but I will tell you, directly for CMC, I got 4 first-round picks next year, 2 second-round picks next year, and a first round the year after.
It wasn't just CMC. You also gave up DJ Moore.
No, this was a different trade.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't go with that guy. I went with a different guy. And I did give up DJ Moore, but for different price. That was
Okay.
for guys for the future.
So like, and just to clue the listeners in here, like dynasty wise, that's a no brainer. You do that every time. The league he's talking about is 3 years long. And so for me, like rookie picks are very devalued in this format because it can take 3 years for some of these rookies to pick up. Like you look and it took a little while for DJ Moore. It took a little while for Cortland Sutton. Like it takes a little while for a lot of these players. And even guys that came out as studs last year, DK Metcalf, it's like, those aren't wide receiver ones. You know, those are guys that you know are going to be wide receiver ones, but they're not there yet. So in a league that ends in 3 years, draft picks are far less valuable to me.
Absolutely. But I was looking at, do I suck this year and keep CMC and keep this crappy roster construction, or do I, shake things up, see what happens? Now, this is the second version of this type of league, and the other one, I'm like 6-0 right now. So,
Yeah, I don't know. This feels early to me. I'm not giving up ever this early, even if I'm 0-4. I came back from 1-7 and won $300 last year.
Sure, and that's why you have to be honest with your roster, though, because like the thing is, in Dynasty, if you're trading for picks, now is the best time to do it, because if you know your team is not going to be good, the earlier you trade, the earlier your team tanks, for one, and for two, if you make the same trade later in the year, that team you're trading with has a really good idea of where they're picking. Where right now there are probably 8 teams that think they're winning the championship. And so one of those teams that you trade with might be pick 4 in a 12-man league, So the earlier you can identify whether you're a contender, a pretender, or just a loser, is better. Just like the earlier you do that, you never want to be stuck in the middle. So for me, these teams, I'm looking at how many points have I scored? What do my injuries look like? How long are these guys out for? What is my general outlook over the next 4 weeks? And if this team is a long shot to make the playoffs, even if it's a really good roster, I'm trying to sell, and I'm trying to buy picks, because right now, Johnny, you think you're making the playoffs or in every single league. And if I can land,
I know I'm shitty in some. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But you're not giving up yet. And you're willing, and you might be willing to trade some of those picks that might end up being top 4 picks that, like, for me, that's huge value. So like, I think most people out there right now don't want to believe they're out of it. And most of them are actually out of it. So now is like a good time to trade if you're willing to just admit that to yourself. But you have to do a really, really serious look at your team and decide one way or the other, which way am I going? And I think the earlier you do it, the better.
For sure. So speaking of all of this, how'd you do this week?
Okay. 4-4 Yahoo, 7-7 sleeper, 3-1 my fantasy league. Not eliminated, $25 DFS. How about you guys?
Go for it, Sean.
I had another really good week. 15 of 22. I only have 1 league left where I'm winless, and unfortunately I don't have a first round pick in that league either. So that's terrible. Unfortunately, when I traded that pick, I was not counting on this kind of a season. So
was that trade to me?
You might have it. It's entirely possible you have it.
Cool.
It's not the DFD IDP league. I think you do have my first in that, but I think I'm undefeated in that league. But my biggest thing is my closest friend. I played him in 2 leagues this week, and he beat me in both. And I don't consider him a great fantasy player. So I've just been hearing about it daily. And so, like, my brother texted or sent a message to our league this morning. It was like, Sean, you have the second most points scored and you're 1-3. What can you do with the shrug emoji? And it was just like, don't lose to Andrew's ass team. That's what you do. Like, this is garbage. I'm so upset about this. So yeah, I don't care how much I win. I don't want to lose to you. I don't want to lose to you. I don't want to lose
Those are the matchups that you kind of feel a little more like when I play Johnny, and sometimes it's in 2 leagues, and I feel good if I split. It's like, okay, he didn't fully get over on me.
Yeah.
And then if I win, I'm like, oh yeah, I beat Johnny in 2 leagues. But then like Joey, I played Joey and he beat me in both leagues. And I was like,
see, and I played Joey this week, and it was like a very clear victory for me. It wasn't really that close. And like I waited till probably like 2 hours after the game ended, and then just like posted in the league chat, just suck it, Joey, and then just started dropping gifts everywhere. It's like, this isn't even a victory. Like, he had no business winning this game, but like I had to drop it just because, it's Joey, whatever.
yeah. My week was ass. My Yahoo leagues, which, mind you, the Yahoo grading my draft gave me A's in
Many A's this
many
year.
A's,
Many.
And
That's
number
usually a
one-
problem.
I
know.
Good
It
grade.
is.
I said it on this show.
They
I
have
was
no
like,
idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I said it on this show after the drafts, and I was like, I feel concerned because Yahoo has been too nice to me this year. Something's going to go wrong.
You drafted a backup kicker, didn't you?
And Yahoo doesn't understand IDP at all.
But
At all.
my IDP hasn't been bad. It's mainly it was really bad injuries, COVID stuff, and that hit me bad.
Yeah.
But
I'm already seeing people pack it in on Twitter. You guys seeing that?
Well, I'm seeing it in our traffic.
I'm seeing it in our leagues too. Dude,
Everyone,
not sitting, not getting rid of inactives, not putting guys in IR, not
they're being babies. How did you
playing
not
Chris
see this?
Godwin this week.
Yeah, how did you not see this coming? It's just like,
right. It's been 4 weeks.
there's a reason I put out like a 10-page addendum to our leagues before this year started, like with all the COVID rules and how buy-ins work. And if the league shuts down this week, this is what happens with draft picks. This is how we do it. This is how a lottery works. Like, if you didn't think that stuff was going to go wrong, you're an idiot. Even if everything goes right, like, you had to plan for this stuff. And man, like, I'm seeing so many people that are out there just like, well, how could we have possibly planned for this? It's like, I mean, you knew stuff was going to go bad. Just plan for everything.
You knew X was going to happen, and then Y and Z was going to follow it.
Yep.
Think about all the worst case scenarios and then figure out a solution to it. Throw it out there. These are the rules. People are going to complain that you put out 10 pages onto their feed, but this is what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I actually think we're all going to do better than we normally do for championships this year, because we're degenerate enough. I do. I think so. We'll be there at the end, and we're gonna fight the entire way, and we're gonna make the waiver moves. And there are people that aren't more than often this year.
I think we're going to do better in terms of playoffs, like making it to the playoffs.
Sure,
I think,
and if you're in more playoffs, it's better chance for championships.
Sure. I think we're going to do worse on championship rate of playoff teams, though. Because I think, not to toot my own horn, I think I feel pretty good about my own abilities in fantasy football, but I think that the more you add luck to the equation, the more bad fantasy football players win. And I think that's going to happen a lot this year. I have my one redraft league I do. This dude, the worst fantasy football player I've ever played with, ever. He has no idea what he's doing. He's in first in our league right now. And it's just like, yep. As it turns out, you're one of 3 people that hasn't had a single injury somehow. Somehow.
That's not going to last, though. Come on. You know that.
Yeah.
No, it may not last, but that's the type of thing where if that happens in the playoffs, you're just screwed. It just adds another luck factor. So I think the good players that know how to churn their rosters and know what they're doing are going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that from that point on, it's just going to be a coin toss. So I think championships to me definitely are going to have an asterisk next to them. It sucks. I'm not going to actually put an asterisk next to it. I'm not going to complain about it. But I do think that there's going to be a lot more luck involved this year than there are other years.
Yeah, if and when I get money this year, I could give a shit how many asterisks are next to it.
Sure.
Yeah, I do want before
You'll
we go
care
on to
when
the
you
next
don't make
segment. Before we go on to the next segment, I do want to say undefeated in the IDP Invitational. You know, I pick a couple leagues each year that mean more than the other ones. IDP Invitational is definitely because there's a lot of tough guys in my division, so 4-0 there. And then I have one of my sleeper leagues. I'm actually undefeated as well.
Which one is that?
I don't know. One of the COVID leagues that
Sure. We've got a lot.
You know, one of those. There's a lot of them, and this one league, I'm undefeated, and
I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah, so pretty proud of those two leagues.
What's up, guys? It's Josh,
Adam,
and Bobby
here with the Big Three IDP podcast. And if you've never listened to our show before, here's just a taste of the insanity that you will get week in and week out with the Big Three IDP podcast.
skunks are so cute.
We just ate White Castle at like 10:45 at night.
I tell you, one I liked about it a little bit more was Jeffrey Simmons.
Ooh, did you say a Bartman, like Steve Bartman? I don't like Bartman in Chicago this year. He's going to catch too many foul balls.
You know it's all about getting real and getting down to business and getting down to the facts. Slide 'em in, slide 'em out. It's right.
So, if you would like more of the shenanigans that you just heard in these little snippets, be sure to subscribe to the Big Three IDP podcast wherever you get your podcast adding. Listeners are guaranteed to have a good time.
Hey, you can't afford not to do this, baby.
That's right, baby.
This week's news.
Alrighty, we're already behind the curve on Nate's 1 hour goal, so we'll accelerate to light speed here. More news, same shit as always. It's just injuries and bad news. There's nothing good here. We'll start with D Ford to IR. He's been banged up for a while now. That's not great. San Francisco defensive line, good lord, they got no one left.
Yeah,
Armstead. That's about it.
D Ford is one of my most owned defensive line / linebackers. So between him, I think my 3 most owned linebackers are D Ford, Blake Cashman, and Donta Hightower. And Hightower opted out. D Ford is on IR, and Blake Cashman's on IR. So great year.
0 for 3. Speaking of IR, Christian Kirksey to IR. Ty Summers was the replacement somewhat. We'll get into that a little bit later. No one could have seen this coming. Yeah, everyone did.
Yeah.
Okay. Earl Thomas did not get signed by the Texans. In fact, many of the players went to management and said, "Do not sign Earl Thomas." Did you guys see that story?
I didn't hear that.
You didn't see that?
I didn't see that the player said don't sign him.
They did. Yeah. Not a great ringing endorsement for Mr. Thomas there. Who will
that's
probably end up
atrocious.
in Dallas. Knowing my luck, he'll end up in Dallas. So that happened. Nick Chubb to IR. This is obviously not a great one. It doesn't look like it's the season, though. Would you say 6 games?
Nick Chubb, I think 6 games.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just found Nate's undefeated league. Nate's actually he's crushing in that, by the way. third most points for.
Nice.
And seventh most maximum points for. So you're just killing the management right now. And just real quick, run down the highlights here. You got Josh Allen. You started Frank Gore. So Austin Eckler is out now. So you might be running into some trouble there. Will Fuller, Darren Waller, Marvin Jones, Evan Ingram, Zach Ertz, Valdez Scantling. How is this team undefeated? Sam Hubbard, Eric Armstead, Calais Campbell, JJ Watt, Josie Jewell, Bobby Wagner, Eric Kendricks, John Bostic, Darius Slay, Eric Rowe, Adrian Phillips, Josh Bynes.
He had some big weeks in there scattered.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. You've hit the jackpot on some of these. You also have 5 empty bench spots. So,
well, that's just because it's such a gigantic league, like roster size.
yeah,
53. And then I don't know, check my IR. I'm sure it's filled.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you got 10. All right, sorry. On with the news and notes.
Yep, Darius Leonard injured. I haven't seen anything else on this.
I haven't either. I heard he was hurt. I didn't see what happened though.
No, me either. Yeah, I don't know, but obviously Okereke and Anthony Walker if he's out. OJ Howard done for the season. That's fairly large.
Gronk season,
Is it?
maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Their offense is a mystery to me.
It is. Is Cameron Brate still there? I think he is, right?
Dude, Ronald Jones is seeing a ton of targets.
I saw that. He had like 111 rushing yards. That was crazy.
Well, he's seeing a ton of targets too. I don't know. I don't know what their offense is.
Did you see Keyshawn Vaughn had a touchdown this week?
You mean non-existent Keyshawn Vaughn? Sure.
Yeah. Hey, I was just happy that he got some NFL snaps, got in the end zone.
Yeah, I have a ton of shares, but that's
He's
garbage.
not there yet. Yeah.
Right, you can't start him.
Nope.
So Darius Leonard was a groin injury.
Oh, good. Those
4 weeks.
Right. That's not
3 to
good.
4 weeks.
Yeah. So I talked about this in the article, but Okereke had actually passed Anthony Walker the last couple weeks in snaps and has taken over basically as the other inside linebacker to own there. So you want him first, then Walker. But whatever. Either or is probably fine during that time. Water wets, death taxes, Bill O'Brien fired.
You say that like he's been fired before, but no, he should have been fired before.
Well, just things we knew were coming at some point.
Yeah.
No one's really surprised there. Oh, speaking of death taxes, water wet, Ziggy Ansah out for the season.
After one game.
Not real shocking. Doesn't hurt too many people. I think we all learned our lesson there, right?
Yep.
Okay. Fitzmagic gets another start this week. They're holding off on the Tua thing. Okay. All right. I don't have a strong opinion here.
Honestly, just sit Tua all year. Worst case scenario, you get Trevor Lawrence, you trade Tua. I mean, that's actually best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you end up with like the number 3 pick, and Tua gets a whole season to get fully healthy and learn stuff. And then you get the number 3 pick to take whoever you want and keep building that sporting cast. And on top of that, they have the Texans picks.
Right.
So I don't know. Sit Tua all year.
Yeah, they are sitting pretty. And last but not least, Julio Jones aggravates hamstring. And the tweet I saw on this was, quote, "This is why Devontae Adams did not play tonight," unquote.
Yeah, this is the water is wet. This is the water is wet thing with.
It's usually turf toe though.
Yeah, it's something dumb. He's gonna play through it. He'll be fine. He'll still put up numbers. It's not gonna be top 3 wide receiver numbers. It'll probably be top 16 though. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all the bad news at the moment, but it's only Tuesday, so more coming, I'm sure.
MyFantasyFootballShirt.com is your place to get top quality fantasy football gear. Get yourself some merch from some of your favorite podcasts. Need some custom shirts for your league? Contact us today. Just go to MyFantasyFootballShirt.com.
Gut check.
Right. Time for gut check as Johnny drinks some unicorn yak from our local soda brewery.
Delicious.
So this is the part of the show where we pair together two sets of defenders and one set of offensive players and talk about their merits against each other. And then we send it out in a tweet to see what everyone thinks out there and talk about it the week after. So let's go over last week's gut checks.
How much do we think Cameron Jordan lost by? I'm going to say
I don't remember who he was against.
So-
Alden Smith.
Hold on. Let's wait.
Oh no,
Let's
Cameron
get there
Jordan.
first.
Cameron Jordan won by 15%.
So
I hope so.
we're going with pair of running backs, pair of James running backs. Jacksonville's James Robinson versus Pittsburgh's James Conner with 152 votes, 68% James Robinson.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I was leaning Connor, but now I'm leaning Robinson, so I'm not upset with that.
Yep.
All right.
I've flipped my script on that one.
All right. Here we go. The
Goddamn coward.
defensive ends in question. Dallas's Alden Smith. The Saints' Cameron Jordan. 100 votes even. 66%
Oh,
Alden Smith.
Oh, God. Why? Are there comments on that? Did you notice?
No comments.
No comments. Not one person said this is. Okay, we can swear now, right?
Yeah.
This is fucking stupid.
no, you retweeted this, Johnny, and you got a bunch of your cowboy fanboy idiots on there.
No,
Sorry.
I am not.
Sorry,
very
sorry
involved.
to our crowd of cowboy fanboy idiots.
First of all, I am not very involved in Cowboys Twitter. The only reason any of them even know me is that Emmitt Smith article because they all like it a lot.
Mm.
I bet they do. I mean, I bet they love Alden Smith.
I don't know. The ones with the brain in their head seem to be on our wavelength, which is this is temporary at best.
Yeah, I'm not happy with those results.
No, that's crazy. And Jordan blew up this week, and Alden Smith did nothing.
Yep.
Chauncey
All right.
Gardner-Johnson had another nice week.
Okay. So
6 combined tackles.
let's talk-
It's okay.
pair of linebackers here. Houston's Zach Cunningham versus Jacksonville's Miles Jack. 104 votes, 60% Zach Cunningham.
Ooh.
Jack got hurt this week too, but Jack had a nice week before he got hurt.
Yeah, he had a pick, I think. A nice pick.
Yeah, I think he ended up
did.
putting up. Yeah, he had a pick, and then
Yeah.
I think he had like 9 tackles. But I do think he got hurt.
He did. I think it's Dakota Allen that came in for him. He actually played okay too.
He was on track for a really nice game though. I do like Miles Jack on that weak side linebacker role though. I really like that.
Yep. Alrighty, this week we got some crazy, wacky new ones. All right, first one.
Justin Jefferson versus DeAndre Hopkins.
Everyone's taking Justin Jefferson.
78% Jalen Reagor.
Dude, we've seen some weird results doing this
I
over
think-
the years. That's for sure.
As a we should start tossing in 3 picks to see
I'm
what
fine
they've
with
done.
that.
Oh yeah, like against each other, like
Yeah.
a poll.
A poll of 3.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm
I
in
think
for
that
that.
might be interesting to see sometime.
Do
Yeah.
1-2 on offense, 1-2 on defense, and 1-3 on offense, 1-3 on defense.
Okay, well, we don't have to expand how many polls we do. We could just like
No.
do a week
Just
where it's
add
just
it
3
sorry.
that
per
are.
person.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
forgetting we only do one offensive, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this week, this is gonna be interesting, I think. So bad Josh Allen, who's actually pretty good Josh Allen this year, or Kyler Murray, pretty close,
Kyler Murray. Sorry.
pretty close in points. And
Yeah.
check this out. So Josh Allen, I believe, 6 more completions, 105 completions on the year, almost 400 more yards, 1,326 air yards, 12 passing touchdowns, 83 rush yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, sacked 9 times, 1 pick. Kyler Murray, 99 completions, 919 yards, 7 touchdowns, 265 on the ground, 4 rushing touchdowns, 5 picks, 7 sacks. Yeah, I think I want Kyler. But man, Allen is killing it this year. He's killing it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I was not a Josh Allen believer, and he's having a great year.
Yeah.
I'm still not a Josh Allen believer.
He only had 20 touchdowns last year. He's at 12 right now.
Like, I am definitely willing to admit that I'm wrong at the end of the year, and I'm willing to admit that I'm looking very wrong right now. But I still believe in Kyler's talent over Josh Allen. So, like, I'm not saying that that Josh Allen is a fake right now. I'm just saying that I'm still not personally buying it. I think he's had a really good year. I don't know whether he can continue that. It's more just that I know he's played well. I don't know if that'll continue, and I'm not counting on it to continue, and I'll admit that I'm wrong when it happens.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in here, and I'm just going to remind everyone that QB wins matter. I mean, you've got Josh Allen on a undefeated team versus Kyler Murray on the Cardinals here.
Yeah.
I joking aside, I do really like Josh Allen this season. I don't really have Kyler Murray anywhere, and I do have Josh Allen, and I love the rushing yards, which he's got a lot more. I feel like he's got more opportunity.
No, Murray's got more rushing yards, but Allen is killing him in passing yards by like 400. It's insane.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
It's like an extra 100 a game. It's wild. His weapons got better too. John Brown, Stephon Diggs, like it's a noticeable difference.
Yeah, and maybe he's not needing to scramble and run as much because he's able to move it down the field. And they've got a decent running back in Singletary and Zach Moss. Like those guys have been doing all right. So, and Kyler Murray doesn't really have. I mean, what's Kenyon Drake doing?
Nothing. It's Benjamin time. That's what time it is.
Oh no, it's not. Stop it. Stop it.
Put him in, coach.
As far as dynasty goes, I would say these guys are both pretty close to the same. But if you're talking about this year redraft, it's Josh Allen is the guy.
I think if Josh Allen and Kyler Murray both fell apart for the rest of the year, right? And the Cardinals and the Bills have not the number 1 pick, so not Trevor Lawrence, but they have the number 3 and the number 4 pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bills are a lot more likely to take Justin Fields than the Cardinals are. I think that Kyler Murray has a lot longer rope, and that matters in Dynasty, where they're both playing really well. If they fall apart and go through a rough stretch, I think Kyler Murray has a lot longer rope than Josh Allen does.
So what about on the flip side? Say Josh Allen continues this, whatever rate he's on. I'm not saying he's going to go undefeated, but he continues having these good games, and at the end they go to the playoffs. Does this solidify his spot on that team?
I don't think it solidifies it. I think it solidifies it for at least another 2 years, which that's nothing to snuff at. That's substantial.
Mm-hmm.
2 years is very substantial in the NFL. But I do think right now the NFL is going to give Kyler Murray a lot longer rope than Josh Allen. If they both fell apart, Josh Allen, if from here on out they both looked like trash, Josh Allen could be out next year, even after the first 4 games. Kyler Murray would not.
Mm-hmm. A lot of hate on the timeline for Kyler Murray this week. Wild Spicy was calling him a midget. It was pretty funny. Anyway, we'll see what's going on with that. We'll see what the people think. Okay, next one. Pair of corners. Sean got me on PFF, and I looked at it for a couple things. I was trying to make a point about how bad Tahir Whitehead sucks and something else. Forget what it was.
Could have just asked me. I could have told you that.
Yeah, but I wanted multiple things to point at, and that was one of them. He's like a 28 or something.
Yeah, he's not good.
Yeah, he's not good. But yeah, so I was just poking around in there, and I'm like, I wonder who the best corners are right now. Anyone guess? I mean, they're right here, so you don't have to guess. But number 1 and 2 are Jair Alexander and James Bradbury right now, which is pretty wild. So who do you want? Do you want Jair Alexander?
Yes.
14 solo tackles, 5 assists, 2 tackles for loss, 1 QB hit, 1 safety, 1 sack, 1 pick, 2 pass defense. Where the hell did James Bradbury go? It looks like it got cut off. Do you guys have a copy of that?
Yeah.
Can you read that?
13
solo, 2 assists.
0 for a loss, 0
Yep.
QB hits, 0 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, 1 forced, 9 pass defense, and 1 interception.
Gotcha. So the pass defense is what's keeping him there with Alexander. Okay.
Right. And I think Jair Alexander is the better player. I think that Jair Alexander is playing on a defense that is going to see a lot more passes against it because Aaron is slinging it right now.
Yeah.
And I think that Jair Alexander is just the better player. So give me Jair all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Did you see what he did to Ridley last night? Holy shit.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I had Ridley on some teams that lost by like 10 points.
A lot of people were introduced to Jair Alexander.
Which I
yesterday.
don't understand that. He was cornerback 1 coming out of college. I don't understand how people like missed that, but yeah.
I do like Jair Alexander a lot. And I mean, it's tough to knock any cornerback that's getting sacks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Johnny did a real good job of it last week with Mike Hilton.
Yeah. Whatever.
But
Fuck Mike Hilton.
yeah,
He's
so
like,
Alexander for me.
Sorry, we can swear.
I know.
Go for
I
it.
know. It's nice to be able to just let it fly now. I'm not giving up on my boy. I love James Bradbury. I've got Jair Alexander everywhere, and I don't plan on letting him go.
Yeah.
Basically, I write this crazy article about streaming corners when all my benches are just Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, Jair Alexander, James Bradbury, Logan Ryan. And I
Dude,
just rotate those 5.
You should really have Carlton Davis in that lineup.
Oh, I've got him in the sleeper leagues in a couple places, but those are my go-to, those 5. Basically, you can find a matchup for 2 of those guys any given week and be A-okay.
Yep.
Yep. All right. We'll see what the people think. Last but not least, pair of safeties. I guess you could say waiver wire guys. Yeah, waiver wire guys. Rodney McLeod, Eagles, 18 solo tackles, 7 assists, 0 tackle for loss, 0 QB hit, 0 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 3 pass defense, 1 pick. Or Josh Jacobs, Jags, 23 solo tackles, 13 assists, 0 tackle for loss, 0 QB hit, 0 sacks, 0 int, 0 pass defense. It's all tackles.
That's Josh Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I was like, yeah, no. Josh Jones every time.
Yeah,
I bet-
McLeod also, if you look at his production, it's kind of all over the place where Jones is pretty consistent.
Josh Jones has been real good this year for IDP. I am starting him in probably half my leagues right now.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's like May and McDougal are the greatest waiver wire safeties ever, but Josh Jones has been just as good, basically, especially if you cancel out that Marcus May monster week 1.
Also, May and Jones. None of those 3 should be waiver wire. I don't know. I guess like dynasty rosters, I've had May loaded up for 2 years now.
Well, not everyone's a degenerate to your degree.
They really should be.
Yeah. All right, we'll see what the people think. Oh, Nate, what did you want? Jones?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Yep.
Check the rankings.
All right, so let's get to some listener questions. To get your question on the show, you can call us 313-986-1473 and leave a voicemail, and we'll play it Also, video voicemails are pretty cool if you want to text us a video of you talking, or in case of one of our fine friends, once sent us a message with him on the toilet, which was quite hilarious, and I
Terrible.
still have to work it in somewhere. Also, the obviously very best way for Johnny, who picks most of the questions, is to be a subscriber. Go to idpguys.org, become a subscriber, join the Slack chat, ask all the questions you want. We have all of our writers in there, and everyone's just answering questions all the time. And Johnny likes to pick out a couple to talk about on the show. And finally, for this week, we've got even an email question. You go to the idpguys.org and hit contact us and ask a question that way. This one was a good one, so it's on the show. But Johnny's got a special one here. Seems like just for the two of us.
Just great.
Well, this was addressed for the two Lions fans from Patricia, Genius or Just Fat at Outlook.com.
This is you again, isn't it?
Whoever this is clearly heard about our Outlook views last week and cooked up a new one. Okay, the Lions took a ton of heat this week in the media. Fat Patricia, especially. Are they rebuilding, or is he just suck and is making excuses?
Both.
You think well, I guess we're rebuilding now.
Now, yeah. You guys weren't when you were 9-7, though, right?
No, we're rebuilding now. Now, the problem is you bring in another GM, you're going to break it down to the ground. There isn't enough time left in Stafford's career to make it work. You're going to have to let Stafford go. Stafford's hopefully going somewhere awesome. Send him to the Saints.
That's not a bad idea.
Send him to the Saints to replace Drew Brees, win a Super Bowl there.
Yeah.
I don't even care. Like, Rodgers goes down with a career-ending injury. Send him to the Packers. Send him to the Bears.
Support whatever team Stafford goes to? Like,
sure.
Do you become like a 1 year or couple year fan of that team?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think at this point I'm a bigger Stafford fan than Lions fan.
He deserves it. Yeah.
He does. So, yeah. And on top of that, unfortunately, the way the Lions are built, it's all very specific roles. You bring in a new coach, you bring in a new GM, and those guys are suddenly not as useful as they were. And you're just starting over. Like, there's no place for Jared Davis on the Lions if you bring in a new coach. Yeah. There's no place for Jelani Tavai. It doesn't make any sense.
What do you think of Reggie Ragland playing a bunch this week?
The thing is like, I really like Reggie Ragland.
Oh, you would like Reggie Ragland. Jesus Christ.
But like, I understand what he does, where it's like, dude, you are an old school linebacker and all you do is stuff the run. You know, like if he would have come out in the 90s, he would have been a first round pick probably. But like, you can't live with those kinds of linebackers anymore, and the Lions have a lot of them. So Jamie Collins is really the only modern linebacker on that team, and what do you know? He's their best linebacker, and also I believe he's injured now. So, yeah, it's just the whole philosophy was trash. Spending 2 second-round picks on running backs and then signing Adrian Peterson to play in front of both of them was trash.
Yep.
Not drafting a wide receiver in the early rounds of this draft, knowing that you were probably going to have to play one of them at some point. If literally anybody got injured, you were going to have to play one, and not drafting one till the 5th round was trash. It's just, and honestly, like, I liked this draft class. I just thought they went about it wrong. It's just, the philosophy is old school. The coaching is old school. All of it's old school. It's all outdated, and they're going to have to break it down to the beginning. And we got another 5 years of garbage.
So it just came in. I just got an email question from the clapper at hotmail.com. And he asked simply, how about them Cowboys?
Oh, I say every week we're terrible. We can't stop anything on defense. Giants are going to put up 40 on us next week.
Which one of the NFC East teams makes it in with 4 wins?
Oh, man, I don't know. That's tough.
Is that
football team.
possible?
I mean, so wasn't there the year the Seahawks with Matt Hasselbeck went in at like 7-9?
I guess it is possible to make it into the playoffs with 3 wins, because if you split with every one of your division teams and then lose every other game, you could make it into. Okay.
Yeah. No,
Right.
it is possible.
I'm here for that, man.
All our teams are awful, and I'm not a large Mike McCarthy fan so far either. But yeah, but Patricia there's something about him standing up there all superior. And what was the thing you said to that reporter last year? Like fix your stature or something, like show me some respect my authority, or like.
I think that's what he said. Respect my authority. I think you can quote him on that.
Eric Cartman.
Yeah, he's just an Eric Cartman.
Oh my God! Imagine like Eric Cartman in like Lions gear with a pencil. That would be such a great like South Park.
I'll take care of that tonight. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there were some people. Who was that? Orlovsky went off this week.
He did.
Someone else.
Yeah, I mean, people had a right to go off. Like, you're a head coach, take responsibility for your team. Your GM that hired you has built this team for you. Yeah. You have input into this. Like, if you're not winning after this amount of time, it's on you. Just take responsibility. Anyway,
it's been the biggest letdown.
Enough Lions talk. This is.
So I'm going to end it on this. It's been the biggest letdown because there was so much hype bringing in Bob Quinn, and that they're building it up for this, when he gets his coach and all of this stuff. And we were at 9-7. So it was like, oh man, we can only go up from here.
Okay. But the trust in Quinn stuff was garbage. I despise that. It's like, don't trust your GM. GMs make mistakes all the time. You can form your own opinions. And yes, these guys are hired professionals, but you're allowed to disagree with them. Trust in Quinn.
Absolutely.
And just he works for the NFL. He must be right. No, they're wrong all the time. Garbage.
Well, I'm just saying that there was this narrative that was built up. And
they're ready for the next step. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And it's just been the biggest letdown because it was like an upward and then just boom, just sucked.
All right, moving on.
Alrighty, this one's from Jonathan Schaefer, yeah, in the Slack chat. What happened to Nicholas Morrow this week? Is him or Jesus Christ, Raekwon McMillan worth holding on to? I said this in the article. I said as soon as Kwiatkowski got back, Morrow was going to disappear. Read the article every Thursday, please.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Read the article, and then the more important step here is step 1 is read the article. Step 2 is find everything Johnny's wrong about it, and then just hit him in the DMs and just tell me.
No, create an Outlook account and then hit me.
Tell him he's garbage. Tell him he sucks. Just let him know how much he sucks every time he's wrong.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So Zach Gomez from email.
Ooh.
He says, love the website. How do I scale your rankings to my league? He says he calls it tackle heavy, but it's 2 point solo, 1 point assist, 6 points for sack.
Oh, that's not tackle heavy.
No, I think that's closer to balanced.
That is balanced.
Which is exactly what our rankings are.
Yeah.
And that's what I told him.
Oh, yeah. No, that's perfect. Yeah. What kind of league did he say? If it's Yahoo or Sleeper or...
He didn't say any of that. That was pretty much exactly what he had said.
Some stack and some don't, I believe, right? Yahoo stacks. Does Sleeper stack?
I think so.
Sleeper stacks. So Sleeper stacks heavy because you get the tackle for loss, the sack, and the QB hit.
Oh, okay. You don't get that in Yahoo.
Right. So it ends up being about 10 points a sack is basically what it ends up being if you set it at 5 points a sack.
Right. It's like 8 or 9 in our leagues for Yahoo. Yeah.
So the other reason to add this on there is just the fact that we're in development with a tool where you're going to be able to input all your scoring to get our, we'll have our rankings with projections and you input the scoring and it will change everything for you and make it valued to your league.
That's pretty sweet.
That will be coming. It's looking like this off season, so trying to get it out as fast as possible. But development sometimes takes time.
Yeah.
I can build a spreadsheet in 2 hours, but I can't code it.
Yeah, and I can code a lot of anything as long as I know how to code it. So I just don't know how to code this one right off the bat. So I've got a developer. That's what you do.
Dynasty Football Digest, your new essential site for Dynasty information. For as little as $1 a month, gain access to all that we have to offer. Rankings, trends, ADP, in-season assets, and a Slack chat just for subscribers. Purchase today at dynastyfootballdigest.com.
Check the rankings.
Alrighty. So
I'll
Johnny,
just
you
kick
wanna...
it off. No, I'll just
you
kick
do
it
it.
off.
Do it.
I'm gonna give them both at once here because combo deal. Steak.
Do you wanna talk about what the segment is before we go right into it?
I think they'll figure it out. My steak is we got to see Brian Hoyer start. My salad is that we had to see Brian Hoyer get benched.
I thought you didn't want to talk about this.
He was great between
I
the
didn't.
20s.
I didn't.
He was great between the 20s.
And he was still a lot of fun to watch. So
Yeah.
that's what we're here for. We're here for the entertainment.
They hung
We're
in
here
there,
for
man.
the Patriots wins. We're here. Yeah, he went toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. And that I'm telling you, Belichick, you can never shovel dirt on that guy. Brian Hoyer, Jarrett Stidham still gave him a game. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Stidham had what, 1 of 2 for 4 yards and a touchdown. I think it was Brian Hoyer.
It was right. But yeah, no, that was a lot closer than the score indicates. Yeah. Okay. So steak or salad, obviously something you like, something you hate. My steak this week is Star Wars Squadrons came out for PlayStation 4 VR with full flight stick and throttle compatibility.
Wow.
And it was awesome. It was like being in an X-Wing or a TIE fighter, flying down the length of a Star Destroyer, trying to dodge getting blown up, shooting down TIE fighters.
I'm trying to not spend money, and you're killing me right now.
Oh, it's not even a $60 game. It's like $35-$40, I think.
God, you're really killing me right now.
Yeah, but you really need the VR and the flight stick and the throttle to get the full experience.
I feel like
it's only a
before
$250 game. No worries.
More than that.
Yeah, I feel like before I leave tonight, though, I should try a mission.
Oh, it's sweet. I'm still trying to figure out all the buttons because there's a lot going on,
I bet.
but it's really cool.
Give your salad too.
Yeah, salad would be Cowboys. Same team, different week.
God, but the Browns are sick.
Ugh.
They're
So-
sick.
Oh, Baker Mayfield's a joke. Sorry.
Baker, my dude. This is when you can show that photo if you want.
Odell celebrated with a hot steamer on his tummy afterwards, I bet.
Ooh. Hot steamer.
What do you got? What's your
Well, before we get into that, I'm going to share this photo here.
Oh,
Here it is.
Pop up. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, that's me.
wow.
That's me changing out of my Lions gear and into a Baker Mayfield jersey with a Browns headband that says "dangerous" on it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's going to be our thumbnail for YouTube. So definitely go to YouTube, check that out.
That might just be my profile pic from now on. We'll see.
Hey,
I might finally switch off the legendary Joey Harrington.
So that actually raises a good question. Second teams.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I have teams that I'm fond of and teams that I hate with a passion, just in general. But your second team, Sean, that's the Browns for you.
Yeah, and the thing is like the Lions are always going to be the team I root for.
Yeah,
but like if the Lions play the Browns, I'm rooting for the Lions. But they never play each other.
Yeah,
and they're never going to, because they'd have to make the Super Bowl. And they're never going to.
Once every 4 years, they'll play.
Sure. Once every 4 years, I got to pick a team, and I'm picking the Lions. In the meantime.
we saw that game.
We did see that game.
Yeah, we were at that game.
Yeah. But yeah, in the meantime, it's like, yeah, there's always going to be teams I like, especially because, I spend so much time watching all these players coming out of college. Like, there's players I like. And eventually, these players start to pull on certain teams. And it's like, I was a Browns fan, and then I was a huge Baker Mayfield fan, and then he landed on the Browns, and I was like, okay, I'm going all in on this now.
So, as far as my second team, it was for the longest time the Broncos with Peyton Manning there. It was just a very fun team to watch.
Yeah.
And being a Lions fan, it was a team that was winning that I could feel happy about.
So now you're a Patriots fan.
No,
They're not winning that much this year.
Yeah, but after Peyton Manning left, I kind of fell out of love with Broncos just because I didn't have that drive to follow them and all that kind of stuff. And like you said, it's a lot more players. Like I like the Ravens for how explosive their offense is. I like Gardner Minshew in Jacksonville. New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees. Like you gotta love that guy. If I was gonna pick a second team, and it seems very bandwagony, but it's got to be Kansas City.
Yeah.
And then that kind of makes me feel like, okay, so I hated the Patriots for so long. One, because that kind of was bequeathed to me from you, Johnny. And then actually having interactions with Patriots fans. Is Kansas City going to turn into that?
No. Andy Reid is not Belichick. He's a personable, likable guy with a windshield.
Although Belichick's become pretty likable as of late. He's kind of a funny guy now. But real quick, it's not nearly as funny as the photos of him doing the Subway commercial, which are way better. But real quick, now that the Buccaneers are doing better than the Patriots, is Bill Belichick a system coach?
No.
Would he create the system?
My favorite story about Belichick, you guys saw the two Bills 30 for 30, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you remember they were talking about his first few years in the league, he was defensive coordinator for the Giants. Well, not his first few years, but that was his first big job. Defensive coordinator for the Giants. 86 season, I believe it was. They play man-to-man the entire season. Joe Montana shows up in the playoffs, and what does he see the first snap of the game? Zone defense. Ends up throwing like 3 or 4 picks. They get shit-housed, and that's the start of it right there. Like, Belichick's been doing that kind of stuff for decades. Like, I used to hate him with a passion, but now I respect him, and now I think it's funny, like the stuff he does, like snap face, that's stupid. Like it is kind of funny, like, yeah.
He knows exactly what he's doing at all times.
Yeah, and you just got to respect him. He's so goddamn smart.
Plus the gif of him in Detroit where the kids reach out to give him a high five.
Yes.
That was one of my... Nate, you haven't seen this? Okay, I gotta send this to you later.
Yes, it's so good.
It's when he's playing the Lions. Lions ended up beating him. This was Patricia's first year. But he's walking into Ford Field, and he's just walking in with a purpose. And there's these Lions fan kids like sitting in the stands. They like reach out to try and give him a high five. He just looks at them, and then just like keeps walking and totally ignores them. And the kids are just like, oh, Bill, no. Like, please touch our hand.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
It's a good gift.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, moving on.
Okay, so my steak and salad, it's wedding related. I mean, we're in my wedding month. So Johnny's throwing a party for me this Saturday. So I'm excited and looking forward to that. He said his purpose is to make sure I puke by the end of it. So
yeah. My exact phrase, I think, was, your only job is to eat enough chicken and drink enough beer that you do an Exorcist impression and then bleed out of your asshole the next morning.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then the salad is the COVID impact. It's multiple people that can't make it. And, we lost another one this week.
Yeah, work fucked me.
Yep. So I will be there. Standing by myself obviously with my fiance, but
yeah.
Assuming she makes it, assuming she shows up.
Assuming she shows up.
But on the bright side, like, Johnny and I are going to throw you a party at some point later with all of the people that should have
Yes.
been there that couldn't make it.
Right.
We're going to make something happen.
Cool.
Just can't do it right now. Like,
Well, yeah, no, it's rough on everybody. I mean, you're barely making it. Shit, we're barely making it.
Yeah.
I haven't. I mean, I've got my business, which is bringing in some income, but there hasn't. I'm waiting. It's like it's been bust weeks, and I'm waiting for that boom to hit. It could happen any moment, but then like my fiance hasn't worked since March.
Yep.
So.
And unemployment's out. And depending on the industry you work in, there aren't really any jobs. So
yeah. So there's so many less restaurant jobs, but then no one gives a crap about pastry anymore. And she's a pastry chef. Yeah. Her position is pretty much non-existent. So she's considering Target.
That's actually not a bad spot.
No.
If you do Target, do the overnight stocking. They actually pay really well. The schedule sucks, but yeah.
We're just waiting for the wedding to be over so that she doesn't have to say like, "Oh yeah, I'll be gone for 2 weeks." So
yep.
But yeah, no. Yay wedding, boo COVID.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's kick off the
week in review.
Johnny, why don't you go through those waiver wires and then we'll finish with over, met, and under.
Okay. So most important waivers this week. The obviously the article Thursday morning will have everything, but take your pick. Deontay Thompson, Curtis Riley, both of them not playing as much as you'd want, but that's what happened instead of Isaiah Simmons this week. So yay, Cardinals. Nick Kwiatkowski might have been dropped in your league. If so, go grab him. He's in, and Nicholas Morrow's out. Dakota Allen is in if Miles Jack is out. Donovan Wilson is in if Darian Thompson continues to suck, which is a strong possibility. Bobby Okereke, Anthony Walker if Leonard's out. If Leonard's in, just Okereke. Ryan Neal if Adams is out. Alex Anzalone in general, especially in deeper leagues. That's all I really found at the moment. I'm only like 2/3 of the way through the article. Trending transactions, I'll fire them at Sean. Robert Tonyan.
Yes.
Okay. Chase Edmonds.
Yes.
Ernest Johnson.
Depends how deep you are. I am dropping a substantial amount of my waiver budget on him because in several leagues I have lost upwards of 5 running backs, and this is all I've got left. So yes, if you're as desperate as I am.
Yeah, and somehow I just don't think the Colts defense is going to perform like the Cowboys.
Also, somehow someone's going to drop $67 and I'm going to miss them. So I'm just going to...
I have leagues where guys are out of fab already in week 4.
Yeah, that's me by week 6 every year, and I don't care. Like this year, it's going to matter a little more, but usually if somebody I want is out there, I'm going after him because I don't know if somebody I want is going to come back up again. So...
Yep. Damian Harris, Patriots. I think I know what you're going to say.
Big time, yes.
Yep. Justin Jackson, Chargers.
This is a little tougher one because I don't really know what his role is going to look like. Eckler's obviously out, but when Eckler comes back, he's worthless, and he may not be worth anything in the meantime. This one I'm a little more cautious on, even though I do really like him as a player. He was a guy I really liked coming out of college.
Yep. John Pinacini, Lions.
I mean, can you say no?
Can you say no to Pinacini?
Yes, I can. Don't pick him up.
I texted these guys the other day. I couldn't believe he has that name. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. That's not how you pronounce it. But
that's how I'm going to pronounce it.
Yeah, I believe that.
The only reason I thought of that is because this next guy is Mo Alley Cox, and it reminded me.
And I wasn't on board with this. I'm still not fully on. I know I'm still not fully on board with it, but he is doing really well.
He's only catching like 3 balls a game, though. That's the issue. Like, one of them just happens to be a touchdown, and he's getting 50 yards out.
And that is the issue where, like, yeah, like I could end up being wrong and he could keep doing this, but like I don't count on it without the volume.
Right. Okie dokie. Tim Patrick, Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing a lot while Cortland Sutton's been out. He was one of my earliest, like even in the 53-man leagues, I was getting him off waivers week 1 and 2, even into week 3. He's definitely one I'm targeting. He's been getting volume since Cortland Sutton went out. So,
Christian Kirk, Cardinals.
Yeah, he shouldn't be on waivers.
Okay. Rex Burkhead, Patriots.
Yep.
Okay. Austin Hooper.
Depends what your tight end situation looks like. Njoku's out now. So we'll probably see an uptick in the passing. But Bryant has also been seeing a good amount of work there. So depending on what your tight end situation looks like, that's a decent buy. I'm also guessing he's not on your waivers, though, because he was pretty hyped up coming into the year.
Which Rams running back?
Oh, God. Not Malcolm Brown. K-Makers will be coming back. Darrell Henderson had the job and for whatever reason doesn't have it anymore. For redraft, I'm not really a huge fan of any of them. I have a lot of Darrell Henderson and K-Makers, but I am not playing them until I see something.
Last but not least, Jamal Williams, Green Bay.
No. He's just not going to get the volume you need on a regular basis to be a starting caliber running back. And I like Jamal Williams.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I got.
Alrighty. So why don't we go with the over, met, and under? What do you got for overperformed this week?
You want to go?
Yeah, I cut it off in my notes. I'm just trying to get there. Sorry.
Okay, I'll go first. So I'll start with running back. Under Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler. That sucked. Pretty hard. Darrell Henderson, also under. Were we doing all the overs first, or?
Yeah, just plow through it.
Okay. All right. For over on running back, Joe Mixon. That was pretty huge blow up. The thing is like you wouldn't be surprised by this, except that their O-line is so bad that like you shouldn't expect this every week. So that's definitely an over for me. Met expectations, I'm going Kareem Hunt. I think with Nick Chubb out, this is probably what I expect for the rest of the year. Moving on to wide receiver, same lines. Odell Beckham blew up. Was not expecting that. I don't expect that every single week, but I think that was definitely encouraging. Met expectations. This is kind of a weird one, but Jamison Crowder for me, because I think that somebody has to catch all those targets, and when Crowder's in, he's kind of a target hog, just because he's that easy outlet pass, runs really crisp routes. He's always open. Brandon Cooks on the under, 0 for 3. Calvin Ridley also on the under. That sucks. Tight end on the over. I think the easy one here is Robert Tonyan. God, what a destructive fantasy asset this week. That was just terrible. Met expectations. It's kind of weird. There's like a real big gap between people that did really well and people that didn't. So I guess I'll go Mark Andrews because he had the bounce back week. Ended up with 22.2 points, which is above what I expect. But like, he played well, which is what you expect. Looking at the under, there were a ton of them. Like basically,
How much time you got, buddy? Yeah.
Right. Like basically everybody. I guess we'll just go with Gronk after having like a really nice week last week. 1 reception, 29 yards. That's absolute trash. That's not useful to anybody. Quarterback, the over, Tom Brady. 34.3 points by our scoring. I'm not expecting that the rest of the way. I think he'll be a good quarterback, but like I am not expecting that. Met expectations. I think Carson Wentz didn't even have that great of a game, but just like the way his stats played because he had the rushing touchdown, like 23 points, I think is about what you expected out of him when this season started. He just hasn't been getting there. And then under expectations, I'm going to skip Brian Hoyer. And honestly, it looks like most quarterbacks did pretty well this week. Phillip Rivers, trash. I think you kind of expect that, though. Brian Hoyer, though, no one expected him to play terribly. So I'm going to go with Brian Hoyer under expectations, I guess.
Perfect. Alrighty, IDP side of things over Denzel Ward, but come on, that was the easiest corner stream in the history of mankind. Marlon Humphrey, and not a great matchup, had a really nice game, so that was cool. Myles Garrett absolutely was splitting cheeks like firewood, and I did not enjoy it as much this week. And Tremaine Edmonds bounced right on back, had a massive week. Nate, who you got for over?
Zadarius Smith, 6 tackles, 2 assists, 3 sacks.
Yeah, that is a monster week.
That was the worst, the absolute worst, because like questionable, no information going into Monday, have no idea whether he's going to play. And on top of that, you have COVID, where it's like, dude, if anybody on either of these teams catches COVID, this game is not being played this week. You just can't start him. And so I sat him in 12 leagues, and then he went off. It's just like, dude, this is just garbage. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. And I was so upset with it, man.
Oh, Sean's not a riverboat gambler.
Well, yeah, there were all those people that started Devontae Adams, like ride or die, and it's like, yeah, how'd that work out for you?
That's crazy. Okay, Met. Yannick Ngakoue, James Bradbury, Jair Alexander, Landon Collins. Welcome back, buddy. Good to see you again. Nate, who you got at Met?
Corey Littleton.
Yes, he was among the living this week as well. That was nice.
Yeah.
And under, last but not least, Aaron Donald was not splitting butt cheeks this week, but that's fine. He will be soon enough. Antoine Winfield Jr. This had more, and Devin White. This had more to do with just lack of offense by the Chargers and lack of time of possession also for the Chargers. 35 to 25 minutes. Bucks dominated that. And Joe Schobert actually did not have much of a great game either. Who you got for under?
Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah. He only played 11%.
What happened to possibly the greatest defender outside of
not greatest defender. Definitely most versatile. I haven't, but apparently that's not a thing either. I would like to add a under here though. Marcus Golden has been absolute trash this year. Like unplayable, no matter the format. If you can play him at defensive end, he's not playable.
Has he been playing full snaps though?
I can pull up his snaps.
Bench because of an injury this week.
Golden, he hasn't been playing really at all.
Yeah.
Right. Like, why? What is he hurt?
I don't think so.
I think it's rotational.
He's just not playing a lot.
Yeah.
Didn't they franchise tag him?
That's a good question.
So yeah, Marcus Golden's playing about 20 snaps a game. He played 7 snaps this past game. Last year, he had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He had 10 sacks, double-digit sacks last year. He is currently playing 20 snaps a game.
Yeah, I don't get it. But that is what's happening. Yep. Very strange.
Yeah. I just had to mention that because we haven't talked about him at all, and that's just a very weird one to me.
The IDP Guys is your #1 resource for IDP information for your fantasy leagues. For as little as $1 a month, get access to all that we have to offer: rankings, ADP trade calculator, in-season assets, and a Slack chat to get personal help all year round. Purchase today at idpguys.org.
Jonny The Greek.
All right, so before we give it up to Johnny here, this segment is sponsored by statementgames.com. We also sponsor a tournament each Sunday night. There is the IDP Guys Sunday Night NFL Tournament. And with that, we do a drawing the week after on the show to give away a free jersey to one of the contest winners of the tournament. So the tournament is made of multiple contests, and each contest has 12 players in it. The winner out of those 12, they win coins and stuff for winning their contest, but then they're also entered into a drawing, which we do here live on the show, and I've got them all in the Cowboys hat, so hopefully that's good luck for you.
Yeah.
Did you win, Johnny?
No, I did not win. Ashley Marie 18?
Yeah,
18.
there we go.
Ashley Marie 18.
So Ashley Murray 18 is the winner of
Congratulations, Ashley.
last week's IDP Guys contest. She wins the jersey. And
Of her choosing, I believe.
yeah, of her choosing. There's multiple,
And size.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, just so now hopefully Ashley Marie has been listening to the show, and then we'll go and contact Statement Games for her prize. With that, Johnny, do you want to do the Viking Seahawks game?
Absolutely. So Viking Seahawks this week is the Sunday night game. So Vikings secondary. Yeah, they got Harrison Smith. Yeah, they got Anthony Harris, but they don't play cornerback. The guys they do have that play cornerback,
The rookies.
Very forgettable.
They're not forgettable. They're rookies. There's a difference.
They're gonna get torched.
Absolutely. But it's a misrepresentation to call them bad. That's like calling Okuda bad. It's like he's not bad. He's a rookie. There's a difference. Like he's not forgettable.
Okay.
It's like he was the number 3 overall pick. He's a rookie. Cam Dantzler is going to be good.
Right. Currently bad.
Currently, their secondary is definitely bad.
Right.
Forgettable? No.
Right.
Different.
We're talking about Sunday night, not 3 years from now.
Sure. I'm saying forgettable? No. Imagine if you said Deion Sanders was just forgettable after 2 games because he wasn't going to play well in his 3rd game. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to save you.
Well, okay, we're looking at the now, not the later. So that's what we're looking at. Okay. How do you guys think this one's going to go? I feel like it could be a shootout. Seahawks pass defense is still like 30th or something. So despite Miami not being able to really pass on them and put up many points, I don't know, Vikings got some weapons, right? They got Thielen, they got Jefferson. Feeling the over, total points over 57.5 is the 3rd most confident pick. Seahawks will win by over 7.5, 2nd most confident pick. And most confident pick is Seahawks over 32.5 points. Thoughts?
Okay. I'm going to take the overs on all the Seahawks passing yards.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on the sack numbers, that might be an interesting one because the Seahawks pass rush is trash, but the Vikings really struggle to protect Cousins. I might take the over on the sacks. I think that might be a sneaky win. Turnovers by the Vikings, I think I'd probably take the over on whatever they give me.
Yeah, take 3. That's how the segment works.
Okay, those are the 3.
All right, perfect. Alrighty, we'll see how that goes. And last but not least, overall betting for the year, we had Seahawks -6.5 at Miami, and Russ cooked. It was not quite 3-course cuisine he's been doing all season, but it was enough. He cooked enough, and they won easily at Miami. So we're 5-2 on the season. I am going Steelers -7 at home against the Eagles this week. Feeling fairly decent about that.
I feel really good about that for you.
Yeah, man, Philly's not going to have a good time with that.
No, Pittsburgh is blitzing at an insane rate, and the Eagles can't stop a 4-man rush. So I have no idea what they're going to do here.
Yeah, their offensive line's in tatters. Yeah.
Carson Wentz might die on the field. We're going to see Jalen Hurts by like midway through the first quarter. And then Jalen Hurts might die on the field. And they're going to trade for Brian Hoyer midway through the second quarter.
Yeah, that feels like a pretty decent pick next week.
Yeah. Prop bet on Brian Hoyer passing for over 150 yards in the Eagles game.
Yeah. All right. That's what we got.
All righty. With that, make sure you're following us on Twitter at IDP Guys. If individually, I'm at Nate Cheat. John is at OrangeMan3142, and Sean is at Lanny1925. Subscribe to the show. Go to idpguys.org. In the sidebar, there are links for iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or the RSS feed of your choice. An RSS feed for a podcatcher of your choice. While you're there, become a subscriber to the site. Get access to our premium content, our Slack chat, all of the tools that we're developing and putting out. It's a lot of great, like, we got in-season weekly rankings, weekly start-sit charts and stuff like that. And then we've got the Dynasty aspect in Dynasty rankings, ADP, that we're still running even during the season. It's all still churning, going, happening.
It's
sure.
Yes, it's occurring.
It's occurring. Yeah. Also, go to Writer Digest Network on YouTube, REITER, to see the show on YouTube as well as all of our other shows. Joey the Tooth has a really great IDP update, which is coming out weekly right now. Some great, like, 20-minute snippet of IDP information, as well as, we've got the IDP Lounge every Friday, IDP Nation, the Devi IDP Grind. There's a ton of great shows up there.
Joey does awesome work too. Like, Joey definitely deserves your time. If he's taken 15, 20 minutes of his day to put out information for you, he's not doing it for kicks. Like, he's doing it because he's got something to say. So check out Joey's work. He's awesome.
Yep, absolutely. But with that, wraps up this episode. And any last words, Johnny?
Yeah, we're gonna make Nate turn inside out through his butt.